stories, without any further ado, let's get into tonight's stories, shall we? Alrighty then. So the first story for tonight was originally posted to Reddit by a user called Jew-Entertainer2639. Now, their story is called The Day I Fawned My Way Out of Trouble. It was early evening in the late nillies, how do they say that? Zeros. I was in college, walking home from class along a busy street in a creepy neighbourhood that was all I could afford to live in at the time. Now, out of nowhere, a car pulls up right next to me and slams on the brakes. Get in the car. The driver yells out the window at me, immediately aggressive. What? Now, as I stand there, I take in the scene. It's an old, small, beat-up red car. 4 passengers, all young guys. Now, they seem relatively fit to me. I'm clearly badly outnumbered. Not good. The 2 up front are leaning forward in their seats and are staring at me. Agitated, most likely on something. I can't see much of the guys in the back except that they're basically just crammed in there. The front 2 are not wearing seatbelts. Really not good. On top of that, despite other people being around, I am in a neighbourhood in a city where people don't usually stop to help. They don't call the cops. They don't get involved when they see or witness violence or crimes. No one walking past has slowed down or even turned our way. Really not good. In the couple of seconds it takes me to soak all of this in, the driver decides to fill the silence. Get in the f***ing car. I said, get in the f***ing car now. We're going to a party and you're coming with us. Now, he said this even more aggressively than before. Oh boy, there goes my brain. Tick, 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 tick. This tone, this manner, this guy is expecting me to refuse. He's expecting me to get bitchy. It's like he's just waiting for me to escalate the interaction. This was before I was active online. I had never heard of incels or MRAs or any of that stuff, but this guy is acting like a guy who is sick of girls refusing his advances. He's had enough, and this time he's going to put his foot down. My brain is throwing up every possible response I can make, playing out the most likely outcome and knocking them back down one by one, and then finally it lands. Though I would not know what it was called until many years later, I had just discovered fawn mode. My face cracks into a huge smile. Oh my god, that sounds like so much fun. Suddenly, I drop the smile to a look of devastation. Oh no, but I can't today. I've got a dinner with my family. Oh, this sucks so much. I would would so rather go to the party, but thanks for inviting me. I start slowly walking up the street, not breaking eye contact, just smiling and waving, but trying to close the distance I'd have to dash if shit goes down. Now the car creeps along, keeping pace with me. The driver sighs. Just get in the car. Far less aggressive this time. Oh my god, I can't believe this is actually working. I lean into the ditzy persona that I have now adopted. Oh, I would love to, really. I want to go so much, but my family is waiting for me up the street. But you guys are so nice. I hope you have such a good time. Next time for sure, I'll go. You guys are super fun, right? Yeah, I can tell. Now, the driver's posture is becoming less tense. His grip on the steering wheel is now more relaxed. And is that the beginning of a reluctant grin lifting the side of his mouth? He likes the flattery. Damn girl, you might just be able to talk your way out of this one yet. Yeah, you guys look super fun. A party with some cute, fun guys. I mean, I am so there. Call me for the next party, yeah? Promise. Promise me you'll call me. I stick out my thumb and pinky to the side of my head and start nodding at them. You just have to call me, yeah? The passenger starts nodding back first and finally slumps back in his seat. Yeah. I keep chattering. Have so much fun though. Have extra fun for me. I hate that I can't be there, but promise me that you'll have a great time and promise me you'll call me for the next one. Now, the driver finally leans back in his chair and smiles back. Yeah, alright. Yeah, next time. And finally, they drive off. Dozy f***ers seem to have forgotten that they don't know me from Eve and they don't have my number. I wave at them, wait for them to be out of sight, and finally breathe a sigh of relief. I power walk the last few 100 meters home, go upstairs and tell Matt and Lisa what happened. Probably don't need to mention that living in that city was getting old. You guys, this story, it is scary, but it is also comedy gold. I mean, as you guys know, I have gone through so many creepy and terrifying encounters in my lifetime, and never once has it crossed my mind that I could just be fawning all over this creep and it would probably get him off my back. Like, this fawning mode is something that I haven't unlocked yet, something I've never even thought about. Like, it has never crossed my mind to do this. But see, that's also partly why I love to share these stories on the channel, because we learn from them. Like, this is something that in certain situations might actually work. I mean, you guys know, by all means, be incredibly rude to these people. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You don't owe anyone squat. Like, be rude to them. Be rude and stay alive. But this approach, I mean, it definitely got this Redditor out of trouble. I mean, a wild story. I mean, as if they would just stop right beside her, like a car full of guys demanding she get in, and like with the ruse of going to a party. Like, if you genuinely were interested in a girl and wanted to invite her to come along for a party, would you do it so aggressively? I think the party is a lie. Just like the gig. The gig is always a lie. You know what I'm saying? There was definitely no party. I mean, you don't have to be the smartest person on the planet to work that out, really. I mean, but God knows what they were planning on doing with her. The problem is that after this encounter, I mean, they probably just went on to the next one, didn't they? That is the worst thing about it. But yeah, it goes without saying that I am incredibly glad that this Redditor got away safely in this situation, and I mean, in what kind of way? That is amazing. That is amazing. What a boss. What a boss. Alrighty. The next story was originally posted by a Reddit user called poutinelyfe, and their story is called Pantsless Woman at My Door. A little over a year ago, my fiancé and I sold our house in the city and moved an hour away to a rural town. Now, we got an amazing deal on our home, which is rare in today's market, and I've been enjoying our new quiet life by the ocean side. That sounds wonderful. Now, our home is just off of the highway and sits on about an acre of land. We have a neighbour on either side of us, but the properties are lined with trees and a river, so it's pretty private. Again, that sounds wonderful. There's nobody directly across from us, and beyond our backyard is the ocean. It's also important to note that our driveway is probably 100 feet long, so anyone who comes to the door is either invited or Amazon or a creeper. Just saying. Burglar. Now, when we first moved in, we were getting weird vibes from the neighbour on the right. A few times we saw him watching us through his attic window that looks down onto our back deck. He would also emerge from the bushes and stand beside the gate to our fence that leads to the ocean. Now, overall, he seemed weird, but mostly harmless. We installed a front porch cam on the front door just in case, which, you know, smart. I mean, I would do the same thing probably. I mean, I did. I've got a front door camera, so can't blame this Redditor. Now, my fiancé doesn't like to leave any lights on at night at all. Not even a front porch light. Now, this never really bothered me though. The porch cam we installed decided to go to bed early because we weren't feeling so well. We did the usual, turn off all the lights and headed to bed with our 3 dogs. It was only 9 p.m, but it was winter, so it was pitched black outside. The only light coming from a few solar lights we have on our steps and the street light at the end of the driveway. Now we were just dozing off when I heard a noise. Now see, I thought that I was hearing things because none of our dogs reacted. Typically, one would hear a noise and start barking, and then the other 2 would join in. So I asked my fiance if she had heard anything, and she said no. But then I heard it again, and I instantly knew that somebody was at our door. Panicked, I told my fiance to open the porch camera app and check the live view while I flicked the lamp on. She started off by telling me that if someone was there, she would have gotten a notification. When she picked her phone up and turned the screen on, there it was, motion detected. Now we exchanged a confused look and my heart jumped into my throat when she opened the live view. Standing on our porch was a young woman with no pants on. She was wearing a puffy jacket and had her shoes slipped on so that the heels of her shoes were crushed under her feet, like she had left somewhere in a hurry. She had opened our screen door and was knocking repeatedly on the entry door while staring towards the road. She then shifted her gaze towards our cars and then tried to peek through the stained glass entry door window. My fiancé decided that this woman was probably trafficked, had escaped her captors and needed our help. I didn't say a word. I just sat there watching this woman knocking, banging on my door. I wasn't getting the same feeling that my fiancé was. Now, you see, this didn't look like a woman in distress to me. Her behaviour was strange and it felt sinister. My fiancé threw on a sweater and was making her way to the bedroom door. I asked her where the hell she thought she was going, and she frantically replied, "She needs our help." You see, I don't know how I ended up convincing her to stay in the bedroom, but I did. It felt weird to call the police because of someone at your door, but because she appeared to have no pants on and my gut told me to, I called 911. After I got off the phone with dispatch, we checked the camera again and she was gone. 20 minutes later, an officer called me. She thanked me profusely for calling and let me know that they had found the woman just walking along the highway. I felt like the wind was knocked out of me when she proceeded to tell me that the woman now had pants on and she was accompanied by a male. The officer further explained that the pair said they were looking to use a phone. I explained to the officer that we have the whole thing on camera and there is no male in the picture, which led us both to conclude that he was likely hiding behind our cars or in the bushes beside the steps. I also explained that we don't have any lights on, so if somebody was looking to use a phone, why the hell would they choose the house that's pitch black? Now the officer agreed that they were likely up to no good and again thanked me for calling. Nothing like that has happened since. I'll never know the true intent of the pantsless woman and her hidden partner, and my gut terrifying, but it reminds me of a story that we did a couple weeks ago. Remember, the story that we did a couple weeks ago was about somebody who also had their door knocked on at night, or their doorbell rang in the middle of the night, and it was a woman asking to use the Redditors phone, if you remember. And if you remember, the Redditor actually gave her his phone, and it didn't really end well. So she kept the phone for way longer than anticipated, and then she asked to use the bathroom, and when the Redditor said no, she said, "You made the right choice." And then moments later, a man joined her, and they were banging on the doors and on the windows and trying to get in. Now I think that this must be a similar situation. I mean, there is two main similarities here. Firstly, it's a woman on her own who knocks on the door. Wait, I say two, I mean three. Firstly, a woman on her own who knocks on the door at night. Secondly, she said so herself, they were looking to use a phone. That's the second similarity. And the third one is there was a male involved as well who wasn't initially at the door. I don't know if these two Redditors are close to each other, but I mean, if it's not the same couple, they are running an incredibly similar scheme. And like we said last time, I'm not entirely sure what that scheme is. Because if you want to rob someone, why wouldn't you choose a house where nobody is home? Do it the conventional way. I am not approving of that, and you know it. But I'm just trying to get in the mind of these people, right? So, I told you last time it reminded me of The Purge. Well, it still reminds me of The Purge. Only this time the Redditor didn't open the door, and that is a good thing. I'm glad that this Redditor managed to convince his fiancée to stay in the bedroom, because you don't know what would have happened if they had opened that door. Lucky they had a camera and they got it all on there, it actually saves the videos to the cloud so they can later on show them to the police. And luckily in this case the police actually caught them, even though they weren't doing anything illegal, so I doubt the police can charge them with anything. But I mean, it is wild, and I would love to know what this scheme is, what their intentions are. This story, and also from the other story, I would love to know what the purpose is of all of this. But yeah, obviously I'm very happy that both the Redditor and his fiancée stayed safe that night. That is what is most important here. And maybe the fiancé will now think twice before wanting to open the door to a stranger in the middle of the night, because that just, to me, never feels like a good plan. I don't know about you, but to me, nothing good can come of that. Okay, time to move on to the last story for tonight, and this one was originally posted by a Redditor called OP-Ron-Kenobi. Now their story is called The Balaclava Man Hanging on My Window Ledge. This happened to me when I was 9 years old, which is 28 years ago, but I still remember it so vividly. seaside resort called Blackpool in England. I actually know that. And I lived in a modest 4-bedroom house. The area itself was good, with very little crime or concern until that night. I shared a bedroom with my brother. We had bunk beds and I was on the top bunk. The bedroom was on the first floor at the rear of the property. My bedroom overlooked the garden. Now, one night I was awoken by the sound of a window lock being tried. So I opened my eyes and I looked towards the bottom of the bed, which faced the 4 large windows. To my horror, I could see that someone was outside, perched on the window ledge, attempting to get in through my window. I absolutely froze in horror, not daring to allow them to see I was awake. I remember sliding back down in my bed, keeping as still as humanly possible. I lied there for no more than a minute, but it felt like an eternity. My heart was beating so loudly that I was sure it would give me away. Now, with my eyes closed, I stayed still, listening to them shuffle across to the next window. Now, unlike before, I could now hear a screwdriver or something in his hand, which was being used a little more forcibly to get in. Without moving, I opened one eye, just ever so slightly, to see whether I could make out who this person was. A security light at the back of the property suddenly triggered mid-look. I panicked. Surely now he would see me. Now he knew that I was there. Staring back at me was a dark figure. Black clothes, wearing a matching balaclava, only his eyes on show. This horrible, startled, piercing look, clearly having been caught off guard by the security light. Now, he froze, and he just stared. He didn't move an inch. I was now sat up, equally as stunned, staring back and just locked by fear. I immediately jumped off the top of my bunk bed. There wasn't time for stairs, screaming for my parents as I ran out the room and into theirs. They tried convincing me that it was a bad dream and they told me to get back in bed. There was absolutely no chance of that happening, and after a couple of minutes, they agreed to go investigate, which simply entailed looking through my bedroom window. Nobody was there. They had gone. I got back into bed, still almost frozen with fear. What if he had gotten in? He might be in the room right now. He could comfortably fit in my wardrobe, or even under the bed. My brother, who was 6 years younger than me, had slept through the entire episode and was no use. I mean, if the Redditor was 9 years old, that would mean that the brother was 3, so I don't know how much use he could actually be. But looking down my bed towards the windows again, I noticed the latch on the 4th window. It had been left open inside. A simple pull from the outside would have easily opened it. At this point, I shut my eyes, and I remember silent tears falling down my cheeks. If he was in the room and knew I was awake, he might harm me to keep me quiet. Pretending to be sleep seemed the best option at the time, and eventually I must have nodded off. I was woken up the next day by the sound of my cat outside screeching in the garden. Daylight came through the windows and the bedroom didn't feel anywhere near as scary as it had the night before. Cautiously, I walked towards my bedroom window. I noticed marks around the window locks from the outside where the paint had been scraped. It wasn't a bad dream, it actually happened. My cat screeched again, and I heard a commotion outside below me in the garden. 3 police sniffer dogs were parading around. A policeman was stood talking to my mum. I rushed outside but was quickly ushered back into the house and was told to take the cat indoors. Now the look on my mum's face, I knew she was trying to hide something from me. The ambulance, which arrived a short while later, gave it all away. Apparently, it turned out someone had broken into the house next door through the back bedroom windows. The motive? Well, it appeared to have been a simple theft, but the elderly lady who came across the intruder had been found dead at the bottom of her stairs. The police never found out who it was, but then again, they never dusted our windows for prints, as my story was never told. We left the house and moved away within 6 months. I think they still feel guilty for not listening to me and not acting differently. Even to this day, my parents don't wish to talk about it whenever I try to bring this event up. While reading this story, you would almost forget that it was a 9-year-old boy who went through this experience. A 9-year-old boy who shared the bedroom with his 3-year-old brother. And then he goes to his parents because he is terrified, and he finally picks up the courage to leave his bunk bed and, get help. What you expect from any parent in this kind of situation. And they told him that he probably just had a bad dream. I swear to God, if I had a child and they would come get me in the middle of the night screaming that somebody with a bloomin' balaclava is hanging off of their window ledge trying to get in, I would be calling the firefighters, the ambulance, bloody Scotland Yard. I would phone them all. To be so dismissive of something that could potentially be so serious. I don't understand. I feel bad for this Redditor, because this must have been an incredibly traumatizing experience. If he still remembers it in such detail 28 years later, you just know it was extremely traumatizing. And even though I am extremely glad that that intruder didn't get in, the intruder did get into the house next door, and that old lady, she didn't do anything wrong, did she? That is just so sad and so dark and so scary. It was clearly an intruder, a thief who was willing to do just about anything to get in there. That is just wild. When I read stories like these, experiences like these, I just feel is a huge, huge thank you to the wonderful Redditors who let me share